UK isn't alone. NATO boss backs Brits against Russia and promise Putin will get response. Britain is not alone in handling rising tensions with Russia, and NATO allies will stand alongside the UK to defuse the situation with Vladimir Putin, NATO's boss has claimed. Jens Stoltenberg, the Secretary-General of NATO, criticized Russia's pattern of reckless behavior and supported Britain's decision to expel 23 Russian diplomats over accusations the Kremlin is involved in a nerve agent attack on a former spy in Salisbury. The NATO boss said they would not try to isolate Russia, but added they would respond if Putin continued to behave in the way it is. Speaking on BBC Radio 4's Today programme, Mr. Stoltenberg said NATO allies would stand alongside Britain and set out how they would handle rising tensions with Russia. He said, "We support the actions taken by the British government. It is important that Russia gets a clear signal that it gets consequences. It costs to behave the way they behave, and all NATO allies express a strong political support to the UK. The United Kingdom is not alone. All allies stand in solidarity with the United Kingdom. I am absolutely certain that Russia has underestimated the resolve and the unity of NATO allies when we have implemented different kind of sanctions over the previous years. The economic sanctions have been effective and they have come from all NATO allies and many other countries. NATO has implemented the biggest enforcement of collective offense since the end of the Cold War, with the deployment of battle groups to the eastern part of the alliance, supported by the UK, in Estonia. Now we see an increase in defense spending across Europe and Canada. So the British sanctions which are imposed now are part of a larger picture, and it shows clearly that it has costs and consequences when Russia is behaving the way it is." Mr. Stoltenberg also pointed out NATO has increased its defense strength. He said, "We have now reached the level of 4 battle groups. We do not have any plans to increase the deployment, but what we are doing is we are increasing the ability to reinforce, to send in more troops quickly if needed. So we have tripled the size of what we call the NATO response force. This is about reinforcements." The NATO boss added that he did not want to see a new Cold War and political dialogue with Russia must continue. He said, "We are in the process of implementing the biggest adaptation, strongest strengthening of NATO's collective defensive since the end of the Cold War. We are not mirroring tank for tank or drone for drone or solider for solider. We are adapting NATO as a response to this pattern of behavior we have seen over several years. We have a dual-tracked approach to Russia. It is about strength, deterrence, defense, but it is also about political dialogue, because we do not want a new Cold War, we do not want a new arms race." Theresa May gave 23 Russian diplomats a week to leave the country in response to the Salisbury spy attack and accused Russia of the attack. She added, "The UK government concluded it was highly likely Russia was responsible for this attack. Either this was a direct attack by the Russian state against our country, or conceivably the country could have lost control of the military-grade nerve agent. Their response has demonstrated complete disdain for the gravity of this situation. The Kremlin has claimed they are not responsible for the attempted murder of Sergei Skripal and will now kick British diplomats from the country in a show of retaliation," the state-run news agency RIA said. The Russian foreign minister on Wednesday, "The British response to the Salisbury spy attack was irresponsible and not based on evidence."
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe my STC News channel. Goodbye and see you again.